My name is Natalie and I have an interview with a member of the band Death Valley High on January 11th, 2020. It's been 6 years since we last spoke. Way back when, we spoke twice in 2013. Once for your EP Survivor program that came out in 2012, and then the follow-up album Positive Earth in 2013. What has the band been up to since then?
Positive Youth. We have released one full-length album. We've been on several tours, and we just released a single. We actually had another EP that came out. It's all covers, dual EP, and now we just released a single, which is going to be followed up by another single at the end of this tour. Actually, it'll be out by the end of the month or so. Yeah.
15 years it has been for the band being together since 2005, and it has also almost been 15 years since the release of your debut album. Any plans of releasing said album or celebrating any way of either occasion?
The anniversaries always pass, and there was 10-year anniversary for Survival, or not, there was a 10 years just a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, right, of similarities of The Love Is Undead, and I wanted to do just kind of walk people through it, like a listening party, and I want to do something like that with for reals, do that with the others. But I also would love to revisit. There was some B-sides from that record that I would love to actually put out, either in the way they were recorded or actually re-record them with the new band. I think it would be fun. And there is always that bit of wanting to go backwards and reintroduce things, because sometimes people don't realize we do have kind of a deep catalog, which for better or for worse, we have evolved. So for people to hear where we came from to where we are now, it's to me I would feel like a very fun thing to do, especially for a fan that liked us. But I'm also trying to plan on doing some acoustic things where and I'm gonna have to pass it by the band first, but it's gonna be me on a guitar and just walking you through some things, maybe even doing some things here's how you play it on guitar, that kind of thing, where I think, I don't know, it's just I'd like to have a lot more content, and especially towards the earlier days of this is where we kind of came from, and this is where we are now. So I don't know. I think hopefully we'll have some fun things coming up pretty soon. In that regard, with a nod to the past and where we are right now.
Yeah, like you just said, you guys do have a deep catalog, and I noticed looking up your database that album isn't listed on any of your Bandcamps, Facebook. It's unknown.
That's funny, because that one I own. that one's all me, and there's even the guys aren't on the current band isn't on it, even though if we do dip back and play those songs on occasion, we do, but the label doesn't have anything to do, and we've been with Minus Head for a long time. We're still continuing to be on Minus Head. It's a little bit more on our terms right now, which is good, because I couldn't do the old way anymore. I can't just release a record every 3 years, because I have so much more to give, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I think the agreement that we have right now, I think, is the best way. And going forward, I think you'll be hearing a lot more from us, just in smaller doses. Yeah, and hopefully getting out and doing this, back up a tour with it, back up a honk with it, and back up, with a video, some sort of visual component behind it, whether it be a lyric video or something like that. We want to give more of ourselves, and we love having the muscle and the support of Minus Head. So I think we've hit a sweet spot with them. So keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more from us.
Another album that's worth celebrating since it's going to be 10 years old is your sophomore album, the one I got into after finding out about you guys. Doom in Full Bloom.
Yep.
Any time of celebration there?
Yeah, so that's coming up. Yeah, 10-year anniversary. I think you will be hearing from us in that regard, like a listening party. And I want to start doing that with other things too. Like let's do a movie party where we can all just get online, watch a movie together, talk about it. You know, almost an Elvira type of thing where you can interject your jokes and whatever, and just have fun with things like that. So yes, Doom in Full Bloom. Maybe we'll do like a single show, or maybe we'll do 3 or 4 shows, you know, up and down the coast, doing a good selection of it. I think that would be another good way to celebrate it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you next. Would you ever consider playing debut album or sophomore album from front to back, like a lot of bands do?
For sure, yeah, absolutely. But as well, I feel like we have to create the need for it and the want for it. And I do realize that we have fans that we found during the Dreaming tour, which was the Positive Youth tour, and people saying, you know, my favorite record of yours is the first one, you know, Similarities, and that means a lot to me because, you know, that as far as musically and everything, I felt like that was a really well-rounded record. It's kind of a long record in a way, but I felt it was really well-rounded, and the evolution of Death Valley High has been kind of finding that more narrow sound into it's like a funnel or something, and then we're going to take that funnel and then almost like, you know, turn out black holes. So it's like you're going down the black hole, and then on the other side of it is like, you know, there's other exploration that you can count on from us, you know. Just like with Raise Hell and everything, I think is kind of that. But I'm hoping that, well, anyways, that people will follow along. Hear new things and still hear like the old us in it.
You mentioned this at the start of the interview, but do you plan on releasing any type of acoustic EP, singles?
I don't think so. That would be, you know, I'd almost probably have to name it myself or something, because I don't know if the band really wants to do something like that. We have discussed acoustic things before, and Sean, our guitar player now, is not really interested in doing anything like that. So it might be. It would have to be the right recipe, I think. Yeah, it would have to be something that was a little like I don't know. We as organic as you can be, mixing in that kind of synthetic thing with, you know, that we've kind of grown into, like this hybrid of half human, half machine thing. So yeah, never say never, is what I always say.
With such an array of releases under your belts, the band has yet to release a live album or DVD. Anything like that in the works, or not yet? That too advanced?
You know, we actually had, in Florida, we actually had a nice a mix down of like all of the tracks, and individualized, separated, and everything. And I unfortunately, I think that hard drive died, so I don't have those tracks anymore. Otherwise, we could be like live album from Florida. It was a crazy, most hurricane possible, you know, storm that was happening at that point. So it would have been a really, you know, fun, like Eye of the Hurricane type of, you know, little story to go along with it. But unfortunately, I think it did get lost in that hurricane. Anyways, something like that.
Your newest release was that covers EP Duel, but you also released a new single, Raise Hell. Is this going to be a standalone single, or is it going to come off a future release?
It will. Actually, we have like an idea that we want to do more or less like the old days, like back in the 50s, where they would cut 2 songs,
Yeah.
and whatever the bigger song would be the single that they would push. I mean, that's not really a thing these days, but we felt Raise Hell was the stronger of the 2. And you're going to see kind of this A and B thing from us, from like, so an A side and a B side. And then eventually we hope to press that onto vinyl and actually making a full. I have so many songs that are ready to be recorded. So they're, I think it'll happen organically. You know, like we could just be like, you know, this song really isn't working. So things might like take longer here and there. But that's the entire idea, is to actually almost at some point release this on a pressed 7-inch, and just like the old days. You like press a 7-inch. You know, you got an A and a B side, and but you will see that coming out from us more often. So we're hoping by the springtime you'll see another one come out, another tour come out, summer, same thing, another 2 songs come out, and then hopefully by the end of the year we have an entire little album that we can tour on, and yeah, we're excited about this new way of releasing music.
Since the start of the band's official logo has changed with the band. Was that the plan as the years went on?
Yeah, well, you know, I think with each it's funny because like the one that we have now is the one we've kept it's only morphed a little bit, but you know, with bands like I don't know, with many bands, they change the logos with each album.
Yeah.
And I'll just throw them out. But AFI is one of those bands that, like, they change. And, they went from A Fire Inside to AFI to, like, whatever. And they've changed the logo with every album. And it's a good way of saying we have something new. And then we were just the other day, we were watching a Duran Duran documentary or whatever. There was some sort of documentary about them. And they were saying with each album, they would change their clothes. So they would actually have a designer come in and go like, this is the new look for the new album, and this is how it's going to distinguish you from so you have this mental, like a visual behind the newest material. And I think I love that whole thing, and I don't know if it's going to change from album to album, but you'll probably see it change a little bit.
Besides being the main guy behind Death Valley High, you have also been in some other bands, Tin Fed, and Ghost Ride. Will we ever see those guys come back with Death Valley High and do like a one-off show or tour, or would that be too much for you to vocalize?
Not on a tour per se, I don't think. But I did do when she from the Deftones passed away. We did a few memorial shows, and Tin Fed did get back together, and that's when Death Valley High had actually been together.
Yeah.
And we did 2 shows, one in Sacramento, one in LA, that was a benefit for his memorial. So a version of Tin Fed did play within the last decade or something, which is pretty crazy to even think that, because we typically want to kill each other. But Ghost Ride, we have some things that are going to be hopefully released within this year. Cale, the main writer, he has about 5 new songs, but he's also in a band called Armed for Apocalypse. So anytime that he plays them, the new quote-unquote Ghost Ride songs, he gets a backlash. No, that's going to be for us. So, I don't want to waste my time or anybody else's time, but I think there will be a Ghost Ride song to come out this year. And as far as Tin Fed is concerned, I am working on a documentary about Sacramento, the Sacramento scene, the Deftones, Far, Will Haven, kind of a very incestuous scene at one point in the 90s. And Tin Fed, I don't know. I'm going to just put out the never say never type of thing, but you actually may see a reunion around the release of that documentary.
Being from Northern California, the band, from what I've seen, rarely makes it out to Southern California. Why is that?
I know, it's funny because the Revolver just said we are an LA band. You know, it keeps saying an LA band, and then we tell them, hey, we're not LA, and then they change it, and it says Cali Goth or whatever however they phrase it.
Yeah.
But I was like, how is it that we're always, we're I'd almost say we're from Oakland, at this point, but like the thing is when we look at numbers, everything else, there's a good strong pull for us to be down here, and we would love to be down here a lot more often. It's literally just, it's more like time and just thinking about things and planning for things. Mm-hmm. So, with this new push of new music and everything, I think you're going to see a lot more of us. Probably by March, we'll be back down here for sure.
Since being from Northern California and the San Francisco, Oakland area, have you heard of another local band called Phoenix Ash?
Phoenix Ash?
They're a Japanese Americanized rock band.
And they're from?
San Francisco, your area.
Phoenix Ash. I don't know.
If not, look them up and try to play a show with them.
Are they a two-piece by any chance? Okay,
they're like four-piece.
Oh, they're four-piece. Phoenix Ash. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
There's another band from up there, and they're kind of this. It's a Japanese transplant. They're from Japan. They play in the Bay Area, and it's just two. It's just a female, I think, singer and guitar player, and then a drummer, a male drummer. I think there are a couple. Anyways, and they, from what I've heard, are really impressive, and I would love to link up with them. So maybe we could do a three-way. Yeah.
With this tour now concluded come tomorrow, what has happened upon this particular run that you would like to share, and how did it go from it being a brief run instead of a full-fledged tour?
It's over way too fast. Silver Snakes, it's a sad thing in a way because they're breaking up.
Oh.
Yeah, they're calling it quits as we know them.
Yeah.
So Silver Snakes is going to be no more. And initially when I was doing interviews, I was saying I hope that we will be doing a lot more shows together, longer runs, heading out east and things like that. So right before we embarked on our first show, they announced that they're breaking up, and I was like, wow, okay, well, this is going to could be a really salty tour, just like bitter feelings and like sour grapes all around. And I don't think that's the case. I think they've rekindled their love for playing, and I can only hope that when they come out with their next new thing, we're going to be doing that again. So I want to say that has been a really, really special thing to watch from the beginning to, I'm not sure if this band, wants to do this to the end where I'm like, we're getting close to the end of it. It's a short one.
Yeah.
And wishing it could be longer. But at the same time, it's cold, and we just came from the snow, and I'm glad to be down here in SoCal where it's like I can actually not have gloves on and a beanie and a scarf that's wrapped around my face to do an interview out in the park. So yeah, it's been, and we've avoided some, we've the other guys have seen like cars turned over in the snow just happen, as they're driving through the blizzard and everything. So we've escaped, for the most part, Mother Nature at her finest, at her most challenging, I think that's been nice. It's gotten easier and nicer as we come to an end. Yeah.
And lastly, what does the band have in store for 2020? It's a new decade.
I know, it's a whole new decade. Yeah, that kind of puts a lot of pressure, but I'm going to take it 1 year at a time, and just, I think with more new music, with more things like, I say that, having additional referendum, like this addendums type of things, where you can have more than just a new song be content, I think is going to be important because of the way media is just it's happening at such a rapid pace. You either, you got to get in the boat to swim, or to row a certain way, and you just got to kind of keep up with it. Otherwise, you're going to sink, or you're going to like end up on the shore, and you're just going to be left behind. So I think you'll see us being a lot more active in that way. And see you on the road.